All right, YouTube, how you doing? Welcome back to the channel. It is Thursday, October 16th. Hey, buddy, it's October 17th. Got two MLB playoff games to dive into in today's video. Like we always do, we're going to go through each of these games. I'll give you my lean on the side. I'll give you my lean on the total. We'll talk about a couple player props that I'm liking in the game as well. But as always, guys, keep an eye on the pinned comment for all of my final plays. If you do want to fade me, all those plays are going to be in the pinned comment. Yesterday, we go 2-1 in that Dodgers and Mets games. Dodgers money line we got at -110, which I think was the best price you can get all day. So sniped that one. We also cashed, and there's a lot of people in the comments kind of naysaying this one because I get it. It's a big name, right? Freddie Freeman under 0.5 runs, but you got to remember he's got that bum ankle. He's not sprinting. He's not running. I had a feeling if he was on base, it'd take a home run, whether I guess he hit the home run or someone else hit the home run to bring him in. And sure enough, he does not score a run. That one was a little juiced at -157 there. And then the only one that we missed was both teams to score 3+ runs. And are we going to get like a competitive game? Both pretty much all but that one game against the Phillies for the Mets. Both teams, their entire playoff run so far has been one team goes off, the other team takes a nap. One team goes off, the other team, so on and so forth. So I want to see some competitive baseball. You know it'll probably be a competitive game tonight now that we might not be on that. Both teams score 3+. Or maybe we are. But that was our sole loss of yesterday. Tons of big old W's. Jameis Winston eating the W, right? Ton of those in the comments yesterday. Keep throwing your plays out in the comments and helping some people out, because there's a lot of people in the comments that are a hell of a lot smarter than me. But before we do dive into game one here, I want to talk to you guys about the Sportsbooks offers. I have a link in the pinned comment. All you have to do is put in your location. Sometimes it auto-detects as well. And you're going to get all of the best offerings available for your state, the best sign-up offerings available. So go ahead and check that link out in the pinned comment. It's super important to get the best prices on Sportsbooks. We got that -110 for the Dodgers yesterday. That was -115, -120 elsewhere. Same thing for Freddie Freeman, -157 on Caesars yesterday. But elsewhere it was like -180, not even playable, you know? So go ahead and check it out. And like I always say, guys, when talking about this stuff, you must be 21 plus. Gambling problem, call or text 1-800-GAMBLER. But let's go ahead and dive into this one here. We got game number 3 of the Yankees and Guardians. Yankees up 2-0, and then afterwards we got game number 4 of the Dodgers and the Mets. So let's jump into this one. On the bump for the Guardians, it's going to be Matthew Boyd going up against Clark Schmidt. I do think that you could make the argument that Cleveland has maybe somewhat of a pitching advantage here if you factor in the bullpen as well as the starter, because this is not a huge discrepancy from what we've seen. Like we've kind of seen so far in this series in terms of what I would say a pitching edge. But in terms of how Matthew Boyd's been pitching, he's been fine. He's looked okay in the playoffs as well, right? So we like to see that. And I think that at some point the Guardians pull one out, right? Like I've said it all along, the Yankees, we bet on them 2 times now through a couple games here in this series to win. I think that at some point the Guardians at least sneak one by, and I think this may be the best spot to do so. You have the Yankees with Schmidt on the mound. A guy that throws a lot of cutters, a guy that throws a lot of fastball, a lot of sliders, a lot of changeups. 2 of those pitches, the fastball and the slider, are not necessarily the Yankees' favorite pitch to hit. And he's been really good at home this season. At home this year, .95 whip with a FIP of 1.47, an expected FIP of 3.21, batting average against of 205, and a K rate of 29%. So it does look like a decent spot for Matthew Boyd. And I guess I'll lean towards the Guardians here is kind of what I'm getting at in terms of my money line play. My favorite spot in terms of a game pick in this one's probably going to be taking a peek at the first 5 under. We've obviously seen plenty of runs from the Yankees so far to start the series. In game number 1, I think they scored 4 runs themselves in the first 5, but the first 5 under still cashed. Game number 2, they scored, I think it was 3 runs in the first 2 innings. Then the Guardians had like 1 or 2 in the first 5, making that first 5 under 4.5 very, very close. I think they either hit it or were at 5. So I think it's a good spot for a first 5 under, trusting both pitchers to kind of go out there and just start the game off well. But overall, like I mentioned, in terms of money line play, it's probably a Guardian spot. I just don't know if I can touch it because I do think the Yankees are that much better. You know what I mean? So first 5 under is going to be my main play here when it comes to taking a peek at anything on the game. In terms of a player prop, we can dive into the outlier screen here. 7-day free trial, link in the description. Aaron Judge over 0.5 walks. It's super juice. So I'm thinking this could could be somewhat of a parlay piece if we go him for a walk as well as, throwing it in with the first 5 under. But I think this could also be a nice little play on Prize Picks. I think it might be a green goblin. But obviously the thing we're looking at here, we took it last game. He didn't cash it. But against lefties, and again, this is super juice. So this is like a parlay piece, guys, not a straight bet at minus 250. Against left-handed pitchers, he walks 10% more of the time. He has 3 walks against Matthew Boyd in his career, so definitely a spot in which we could see some walks. And what I like is if you zoom out here, right, when he doesn't have a walk, he usually comes back with at least 1 walk. So again, somewhat of a parlay piece here for a player prop, or if you want to throw it into somewhat of a Prize Pick slip or something like that overall. Because yes, minus 200 and beyond is obviously a little bit beyond single player prop. We do have a nice player prop I like in the next game, but this is more of a same game parlay or parlay piece. So we'll see what we do with that. And before we do get into game number 2, I want to talk to you about Underdog, guys. Check out Underdog. They have a free square for tonight. It is Bo Nix, 0.5 total yards for Thursday Night Football. You're also going to get up to $1,000 in bonus cash when depositing today. Go check it out, guys. If you don't know what Underdog is, it's a really cool app. It makes watching the games so much more entertaining, as we know, with taking player props and spread picks and stuff like that. But Underdog with players specifically, you look at their projection, you pick more or less, you put 2 or more into a slip or entry, and then the more you win, the more you get paid out. So go ahead and check that out, guys. That link is in the pinned comment. You get a freebie here in Bo Nix. 0.5 total yards. You can run for it or you can pass for it. As long as he gets 1 yard, you cash that square. So go ahead and check it out. But let's dive into game number 2 of the night here. We got the Mets taking on the Dodgers yet again. Game number 4 here right now. LA is up 2-1. Yesterday's game, again, not very competitive. 8-0 win for the Dodgers. Today we're going to have Jose Quintana on the mound for the Mets, going up against Yoshinobu Yamamoto, so should see some decent pitching, right? Yamamoto looked really good in that last game against San Diego. He didn't have the best start to his playoff sort of run against San Diego, but in that last game, 5 innings pitched, 0 earned runs, just 2 hits. Only 2 strikeouts, but he hasn't been K-ing guys much all that, frequently. But overall, if you watch that game, you saw a damn good performance from him in a back-against-the-wall game. But you flip it over to what we've seen from Quintana against Milwaukee. He went 6 innings pitched, 0 earned runs, 5 strikeouts, just 1 walk. Then against the Phillies, he went 5 innings pitched of 0 earned run baseball, 6 strikeouts there. So Quintana's been pitching really well. In terms of the Dodgers against lefties, they still are, very good against lefties. So I think there's a clear-cut offensive advantage on the side for the Dodgers. They have the better bullpen. And today I also think that they have the better pitcher on the mound if they can stretch him to that 4 or 5 innings. But even still, this Dodgers bullpen has just been very, very good. So I hate to seem like such a square and whatnot, but I'm going to lean towards the Dodgers yet again. Both favorites in this series. And I hate to say that as a sports bettor, but you take the fandom out of it, or, you want the underdog to win and that type of thing. It's like, I do think the Dodgers are better. I do think the Yankees are better. So as a sports bettor, it's going to be tough to get to the other side. Now, for plus 120, I do think the Mets have sort of the go-off potential for that to make sense. I know the graphic here says plus 114, but you can get plus 120 now. So if that is the case, then sure, I don't mind someone heading in here and saying, well, for the value on the Yankees, I do think that this is closer to 50-50 than plus 120 would indicate. Then I get it. But overall, I think you're getting the Dodgers at minus 130 with a better bullpen, better offense, and better pitcher, though they're on the road. Big whoop. We saw it yesterday, right? Now, we can honestly say if the Mets are going to take one that they need, it's probably this one, right? They don't want to go 3-1, losing both in New York. So, like I said, there's ways and paths to get to the Mets, just not enough for me. I think that the 3 phases, batting, pitching, and I guess, pitching late in the game, they have the advantage there. So overall, I am on the Dodgers again today, but same thing that we looked at for the Yankees and the Guardians. I also like the first 5 under in this one. I gave Quintana his flowers, and Yamamoto for sure as well. First 5 right now under 4.5 in terms of odds we're getting is going to be minus 150, so probably the juiciest thing we've talked about other than the Judge play. But overall, I still do think that could be a nice little spot here. Last game, which was obviously the game in which the Dodgers won 8-0, still hit the under in that spot. So yeah, I kind of like this spot overall for both teams. We've only hit it once in the last 3 games between them, last game being it. So maybe they're on a little bit of a stretch here. Now, from a player prop perspective here, I actually have a few different ones to dive into. So make sure to keep an eye on the pinned comment to see what we roll with. But Freddie Freeman, kind of fading him again, but under 0.5 walks based on balls. So yesterday we took his runs, but I also don't think that he's going to be looking to walk. You know what I mean? Knowing his ankle's kind of bum right now, he's going to be trying to hit the ball, and when he does hit the ball, he's going to try and hit home runs. So I think that we could see a spot in which Freddie Freeman is like not having the most diligent eye, because again, in that situation, it means he walks and he's kind of a useless base runner, right? So under 0.5 walks for Freddie Freeman. In terms of how this looks against a left-handed pitcher, right? His walk rate drops to 9.4, which is very good to see. And then we also see against left-handed batters, Quintana's walk rate drops to 5.7. So very, very good look here, I think, for Freddie Freeman under 0.5 walks. Then we move over to Andy Pages here. Over 0.5 hits, runs, and RBIs. He's hit this in 8 of his last 10, averaging 2.6 throughout that stretch. Head-to-head, he's done in 7 straight against the Mets. So I like the spot as long as he gets the playing time, which with their injuries, he is, right? And then last but not least, we have Jose Iglesias here, over 0.5 singles. He has a single in 8 of his last 10 games, averaging 0.9 singles because he had 2 here in that game against Philadelphia. I think it was like game 3 or 4. But overall, I do like the matchup. Not necessarily his numbers. He's still batting over 300 against the right side, which is his bad side. But for Yamamoto here, you can see batting average of balls in play, 344 against right-handed batters. Batting average against is 229 on the year, jumps to 263 when he's going up against a right-handed batter. So it's more or less a good position to take a batter against a pitcher. And then what better player could we look at to say, oh, he's going to be the singles guy? You know what I mean? So those 3 player props. Again, Freddie Freeman under 0.5 walks, Andy Pages over 0.5 hits, runs, and RBIs, and then Jose Iglesias over 0.5 singles. Guys, that's going to wrap it up for today's show. Hope you guys did enjoy it. If you did, let me know by hitting that like button, hitting that subscribe button, and commenting 11 because you made it past the 11-minute mark in the video. Last but not least, if you made it here, we do have a deal going on over on the store right now. Every t-shirt, I believe it's up to 20% off over on the Fade Me store, so we can jump in and just show you guys a couple things. We do have a new collection that just dropped as well, the Gambler Fall 2024. We have a premium crew neck, super good quality, our super comfort hoodies, which are our best sellers. We have a new windbreaker, never created this product before, but I love it. And then the Gambler Fall rope hat here, the Fall 2024 in multiple colors. You can see that is the new logo of Gambler for the latest drop. So go ahead and check that out, guys. Again, everything t-shirt wise is discounted on the site. Most t-shirts, I should say. So go ahead and check it out. But yeah, if you want to support us and continue to help us grow and get some great merch at the same time, head over to fademe.store, pick up some merch. But other than that, I'll catch you guys in the next one, all right? Peace out.